from in the world, if you would just enter what you sell today. That's what I'll ask you to put in your comments today. And I appreciate you joining me. You know, I went live last night and to tell you about, we're doing the SalesRX Comeback New Year's Sprint, which signups end tomorrow, January 14th. And I said I would answer any questions you had about it. So I'm going to go through what the program is and how it works. And if you're even remotely interested in it, you can click on the link, which will show in the description as well. So thanks for tuning in this morning. And I thought I'd start off with just a quick story. You know, when I was first starting out, I had set a goal that I was going to end up buying my first house when I was 24. And I ended up doing it. I read a book, which I highly hope you look at, which is called See You at the Top. It was written by Zig Ziglar. And the idea that you come up with a goal and then you write it down and then you do something every day to get towards it. It's not a new concept, but I took a piece of paper and I put it in my wallet that I was going to own my first house. Well, I ended up doing that, not to boast, but it was back when you could buy a whole house for, I think it was $104,000 was my princely sum I had to do, which you had to come up with 10% down. And I was saving that. And it was everything I could do to get into this house. And so I did everything by myself, right? So I went through and did things. Luckily, I had two older brothers I was able to call on. If my brother Jerry is watching this, shout out to you for certainly helping with plumbing. But when it came to doing a lot of things, I did it myself. And one of them I did was to use copper pipe to replace the failing old, whatever it was, other plumbing. And I went through and I learned how to solder pipe and I had to do all of that. And it took several weeks, if not months. And the day came when I turned on the water and I ran into the house and listened. I couldn't hear anything. It was like, oh, awesome. And it was great. And I thought that was wonderful. There's just one small little problem that occasionally you'd go to open the dishwasher and there would be dirty water in it. And sometimes I didn't use a dishwasher very much. And so, you know, it would be kind of fetid water and disgusting. But, you know, when you turn a dishwasher on, it would get all the water out. And I'm like, small price to pay. Didn't bother me until many years later when I decided to rent that house because I had bought another house. And the tenant called and said, you know, sometimes the water backs up into the, I was like, oh, right. Let me get right on that. So I didn't have the time to do this. You know, at some point you have to get an expert to help you with something. And I called a local plumber and he came out and he looked underneath the sink and just immediately said, what idiot put the sanitary tea in backwards? It's like, I don't know. I'll have to find out. And that lesson never escapes me when I think of the times that we try to do things on our own, that we're going to learn it. We're going to do it. People, I'm going to do my website myself. I'm going to do this myself. And I think there's a lot of things you can do yourself, but at some point you realize I need an expert. And that's why so many people turn to SalesRX. It's my main product these days. I used to go through and train people individually, but quite simply, I would get on a plane at the end of the day. We'd have a lot of fun. We'd play games. We'd do an awful lot of things. A lot of light bulbs go off. But if you're talking about changing behavior, it's little things every day or every week that add up. You can't wholesale change someone. It would be like saying, I want to become a long distance runner. So I'm going to go to a seminar on how to be a long distance runner. And that makes me one. No, because you understand it doesn't mean you're going to do it. That unless you're willing to do the work to change, you're going to understand it, but you're not going to take action. And the other problem is there are a lot of people out there when it comes to training that have a bunch of videos and you are left on your own to figure it out. And quite simply, a video alone doesn't work. Interactive videos is what makes the difference. And that's what my system is based on. I ask you a question. If you don't answer it, the system stops. I'll look at my watch. I'll eat a Cheeto. There's a lot of things I do. But until you answer that question, the system stops. So you have to be engaged for that 3 to 5 minutes if you want to learn it, because people who sign up for it want to change behaviors of not only themselves, but their employees. And so what they're trying to do is to figure out, how do I make more sales? And I'm here to tell you that in 2021, everyone is still talking about what they did, the groundbreaking things they did in 2020. We offered curbside, like, great. We offered shop by mail. Oh, okay. We did social selling. Okay. But as the vaccine rolls out, as hope returns into our hearts, and as long as we are working to make a better place for all of us, I think that 2021 still can come out and give an awful lot of value for retailers and for small businesses. But it's going to depend on you doing the hard work of saying it's not about how after the fact they get the product. It's all about how do I get them to choose my brand over somebody else's? How do I go through and make it so that they know me, that if they go to sit down, my brand is on their butt, and that's who they look to first, not last, to get something. I was reading a report the other day that said they thought 90% of retail will be done locally in the rest of 2021. That's exciting, especially for a lot of you who watch me. But time after time, I get questions of people saying, how do I do this? And how do I do that? And how do I grow margin? When the answer is staring at you in the face. You have to become a scientist, somebody who studies human behavior and how to train. And if you're willing to do that, then there's a lot of things that you'll find out about how people learn, et cetera, in 2021. But if it hasn't been modeled for you, if you don't know how that works, if you don't really understand it, it's kind of like that baker who came up with a cake for 25 years in Brooklyn, who came up with a perfect dark chocolate cake and finally has it. If you go in to buy the recipe, do you have to spend 25 years to learn it? No, you just buy the recipe and you've cut out all that time because success leaves clues. And that's what SalesRX does. So it's a special offer that basically I'll tell you what it does. But the offer is if you join me by tomorrow, January 14th, the $1 to hold your place, we'll charge you $3.90 tomorrow, which starts your subscription. Then $195 a month for up to 5 users. You can stop at any time. You can find out the details of the system at salesrx.com. What is it? It is the best of Bob. It's over 120 lessons of how to engage a stranger, discover the shopper, and make the sale and the add-on. They're in 3 to 5 minute lessons. The managers go through it for about 2.5 weeks before they have a meeting, a kickoff meeting, and then the individuals go through at a much slower pace, about 2 lessons a week. People tell me, it's a lot of money. 195 is nothing compared to the discounts you're giving out day and night. And how many times does somebody walk out of your store without buying? Wouldn't you like to change that? Because retail in 2021 is all about conversion and add-ons. In other words, somebody walks in the door, did they actually buy something that made you money with margin, or didn't they? And then did your employee add on to that so that they got not just one item, but they got everything they needed? And that goes for whether you're a hardware store, an apparel store, whatever it is. If you're not willing to do that hard work to change your business, I think you're going to have a really tough time, because make no mistake, your competitors are going after you just as well, and they can do it online. They can find people even different, even new customers of yours that you're not even aware of because it's showing up in their social streams. So this is just a quick thing to say, if you have a question, you can certainly ask me. You can certainly go through, you can join today. And that link is listed there in the description of what we're doing today. But if you have a question, now would be your time to ask it, how the system works. If you don't have it, you can certainly DM me. You can certainly send me an email. You can certainly go through and reply to an email I've sent out, or leave a comment after I'm off. But make no mistake, the whole thing that's going to change in retail is going to be your determination to call up the best of your employees. We are living in a time of division and a time of, oh, you don't understand, and I'm this and you're that. And I'm telling you, retail exists to bring people together. It has to, because otherwise you just have a hobby. You're just taking care of people just like you. We have to find a way to open our hearts and make more sales, because more people feel they matter when they walk into your store. If that's interesting to you, if you want to do the hard work, I'm here, I'm ready. We're going to be doing 5 live 1-hour sessions with me every week. The first one starts on Friday, but only happens if you sign up. So I hope you will. I'm not going to belabor the point. And if you have any questions, you can certainly go through and ask them. Thanks for joining me here this morning, and I appreciate it. I'll see you virtually soon.